Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about how often you should be running experiments. So, Neil, what are your thoughts around, I guess I can go first because we kind of just talked about this recently. My thoughts are you should be running experiments, assuming you have, to Neil's point, you have a good marketer on your team. You should be running experiments every single week, assuming you have, some kind of maturity with your product or your service already. So I'll use us as an example. Like for our website, even though the main business is a services business, we're running experiments every single week on the site. We're running experiments on the business as well. And then we're tracking these. You can track them in a spreadsheet. We use a tool called North Star. This is from Growth Hackers. And from there, we're just looking over time and we're recording our learnings to see, okay, what percent of the time are we winning and how often are people right? And there's also a leaderboard in North Star. So it sounds like maybe I'm affiliated, definitely not affiliated with the tool. I just like how it's set up. It's built for, somebody that's starting out and then eventually somebody that is looking to build out a more kind of mature growth or marketing team. So my take on it is you have experiments every single week, you're tracking it, and you're trying to improve by 1 to 3% every single week. Of course, down the road, you're going to have diminishing returns, but aim for that in the beginning, and you're going to be off to a good start.
The more experiments you run, generally the better off you are. There's a few problems, though. One, if you don't get enough traffic, it's harder to run experiments. So you're going to have to figure out how to do things like ramp up paid advertising, tweet things out, push things out on the social web. What you'll find is once you get enough users or conversion points, and I'm talking about conversion points in the 500 plus per month, that could be checkouts, it could be a lead opt-in, and if you're getting that, you can start running a good amount of experiments. You're roughly looking at 1 to 2 a month. And the reason you can start running 1 to 2 a month is A, you can look at micro conversions, and B, you can look at macro conversions. So a good example of this is a micro conversion could be someone going to your checkout page and getting more people there. A macro conversion could be more sales in general, right? If you don't have enough traffic, you want to start with micro conversions to get more people down your funnel. If you have enough traffic, you always want to be optimizing for the end solution. The end solution or the end result, more so, not really solution, is the total number of conversions, total revenue, total leads, total sales, whatever it may be. So try to run an experiment every week. If you're very small, track micro conversions. Don't worry about macro. Once you start growing in size and you're getting 500 plus conversions or 1,000 plus conversions and real conversions, sales, credit card entries, you're getting leads, opt-ins, qualified leads, whatever you want to classify as a conversion, then you could be running more experiments each and every single week. Now, in the short run, if you can't really optimize for conversions and sales, your experimentations should be around traffic generation, and you should do your best job guessing at what would be relevant traffic. You can use tools like SEMRush, SEMRush, AHREFS to see what's working for your competitors and start looking at similar traffic channels.
Yeah, and by the way, when we talk about experiments, we're talking about this in the context of marketing, but keep in mind, you can apply this framework to your business in general. So, for example, let's say, you've been hiring on gut feeling, it's been very kind of subjective, right? I have a good gut feeling about this guy. Well, that hasn't worked for you long term. What you can do afterwards is you can put together a recruiting scorecard. So that in itself is an experiment. And there's also this one book written by Peter Drucker, great executive, just executive in general, wrote a bunch of books around that, but he wrote a book called Managing Oneself. It's literally only 40 to 50 pages. I highly encourage you all to read that. But that in itself, this guy, before A/B testing became really popular, before, software as a service became really popular, he talked about the importance of running this concept of feedback analysis. So for me, I have a spreadsheet that shows me over time all the big experiments I've ran. So for example, maybe hiring someone that didn't have experience in a certain area, or moving my office somewhere, or traveling somewhere. Right? These are all kind of big experiments I ran for myself, and you can see over time I've marked the ones that went well in green, and I can see for the most part, for me personally, I'm about 70-75% or so on the big experiments. Now, this is going to show you over time for yourself yourself, this applies for everyone, how you're doing, how you really do when it comes to, running these big experiments for yourself. So if you can start with yourself, then roll it out to your marketing team and then your business as well, that's going to help you across the board.
If you want to grow, what you'll find is it's all about experimentation. And it's not one experiment that'll turn you into a Dropbox or a Facebook. It's even with those companies, it's not one thing that's caused them to be worth 10 billion or 400 billion. It's a lot of little things that added up. The trick that I use when I run experiments each and every single week, I break them down so small that not only can I get the results within a week, but I can implement the experiment within less than a day, ideally within an hour or two. The reason I try to keep it short is because that allows me to do a lot of them instead of combining a ton of them, running a huge experiment, taking forever for it to get out, and it may not work. When you do things little by little, what you'll find is, oh, cool, this is working. Let me do more of it. Oh, this is not working. All right, that's great. I was going to run 3 other experiments now that are very similar. Now I know not to do them because they just don't seem to work. This will allow you to move much quicker versus if you try to run really huge experiments at once.
Yeah, and again, just to really emphasize, when Neil was speaking at a mastermind we were at about a week ago, he was kind of lightly joking at himself, saying, "Well, I'm not the best at paid ads. You guys are much better than me. I'm really good at content marketing." And I think running experiments over time, when you're tracking the learnings, again, you're being very methodical about it. You can see what your strengths are and what you're weak at. What you're weak at, you have other people come in and help you fill up those or plug up those holes. You don't necessarily need to try to be strong at everything. And Neil's very self-aware. I'm self-aware as well at what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. Anyway, go to singlegrain.com/giveaway to check out our marketing tools to grow your business, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.